Hi everyone, my name is Johanna Edepil and I'm the CMO at XMReality. And with me today I have our CEO, Jörgen Remmelg.
Good day Johanna and good day everyone.
And we are here to give some perspective on the year-end report 2022 for XMReality. And just to start with, top level Jörgen, what is your opinion on the report we just released?
Well, helicopter view and overall, 2022 was a tough year for us. However, we see some positive signals now in Q4 with the order intake taking a good step and also net sales now moving in the positive direction.
And if we stay with the full year, I actually looked back before the session and looked at what we said when we were standing here a year ago, and we did our guesses for 2022. And back then we concluded that we had done some substantial product updates, or more with a back-end with the product that would enable us to, in a more efficient way, push out new functions during 2022. We also had Tim Couple in place, heading up our XMReality Inc. over in the US. And we also said that we had a good foundation here sales-wise for the XMReality AB. And we were quite positive when we talked about the outlook for 2022. So what happened?
Well, then came the war in Ukraine, right? And a little bit significant downturn in the global economical situation. Yes, a good summary, Johanna, and we have done some significant investments in 2022. If I take the US now, we have a group of people, resources available to target the US market and the North American market, I would say, with US, Canada, and maybe part of Mexico as well. Marketing and sales effort mainly, but again, we need the capabilities, we need the people, we need to get the work in a good direction, you need to establish contact with potential clients, etc.
Yeah, and here we have a couple of contracts now coming in the end of 2022.
Absolutely, we have a growing pipe. The proposal pipe is steadily growing, and we have very good examples in short packaging, in Alta Forest, and also in Toshiba, so that's good. Checking the box, investment made, we see very positive signs now. Product did take a big step in 2022, big investment for us, and the product we now have has the ability to target not only the aftermarket process, but also the supply process, procurement, the quality, and also production and the associated digitization of the production process, which we typically call Industry 4.0. So a significant step, mainly backbone in 2021, late 2021, early 2022, and now the front end in 2022 with functions, as you say. So we have a significantly more capable and potent product to deliver to the customer base now.
And I mean, growth-wise, 2022 hasn't been a good year. However, here our last quarter, Q4, actually is a different trend, where we have an increased order intake and also some good numbers on net sales. What are the drivers behind this?
Or maybe good number, at least the net sales is moving in the positive direction.
Yes.
Right. Well, I can take two examples here to maybe answer your question. One, looking at upscaling of existing customer base, and one, new customers. If I take the first one, now we'll take the example of ABB, which at the end of Q3 2022 came in with a big order, a completely new business area inside ABB called Process Automation, that ordered a lot of licenses, 1.5 million worth of business. And then at the end of the quarter, we have also the other business area that we do business with within ABB, which is Motion, that scaled up their licenses. And I think this is an example of how we, with the customer, work on the roadmap, tailoring of the product, and can actually scale up an existing customer, which now is our biggest customer, by the way. And we will now go forward target similar large companies and cloning the same procedure, again, focusing more going forward on upselling to the existing customer base. Then on the new customer side, I will move to the housing vertical or the real estate vertical and take the example of Cobalt Housing that came on board early Q4 last year, and then also Sovereign Housing, which came on board in November, and already now, late December, did a significant or a fair upscale of the number of licenses already 1.5 months after they actually came on board, and you guys already had a webinar with them, right?
Yeah, we did actually.
Yeah, where they highlighted the cost savings and how many travels they have made or let's say avoided. And if I remember right, Johanna, they had 1,500 inspections that was done remote within those 2-3 months they used the product. And actually had a success rate, meaning that you did not have to go out to the tenant and fix that gas boiler within the tenant's apartment in 500 out of those 1,500.
Yes, that's true. Yep.
So I think that's a good example. So yeah, good upscale, existing customer base, example ABB. And then new customers, we see good traction in the housing sector with Cobalt and Sovereign Housing as an example.
Yeah.
And maybe on top of the UX example we just took as well.
And I mean, overall, this actually resulted in a really good order intake number for Q4, where we were almost at 7.6 million Swedish krona.
Yeah, I would say the order intake took a step in the good direction. Of course, we want as high numbers as possible and always want higher numbers, but yeah, let's put it that it took a significant step in the right direction.
Yeah, but let's look at the opposite then, because we also have churn, which is at the level we have allocated. However, contraction has been slightly higher compared to what we had expected. And what are the drivers behind this?
Well, we have assessed the contraction, as you say, and the majority of it attributes to the global financial or global economical situation stemming from the war in Ukraine. And not all the customer base, but some of the customer base is actually having cost-cutting measures in place in 2022, which means that typically they are let's say, urgent for that company, and typically what you do then in an urgent situation is you do a royal cut. So everything has to be cut, and as part of that we come in as well, which means that we push down the licenses to, I wouldn't say to the minimum, but to a lower level. And for us, being a cost-cutting tool in many ways, I think is frustrating, but it's also here short-term and mid-term, and how the customer base react to the situation and implement their cost-cutting measures.
And you think that will change going forward?
For sure, I believe that we can use this to our advantage, right? So I do believe that again, we are eliminating travels, we are making things more efficient, and we improve quality, and again, efficiency equals productivity. So I think we will emphasize that much more now going forward with the product, both to the existing customer base and to new customers. Again, so I think mid-term this will be an advantage for us, and I will call it the USP, unique selling proposition.
And I think we also need to touch upon one of the big events during Q4, which was the rights issue we had. And what would you say is our position right now?
Well, first of all, I think I tick the box that the existing owners, they believe in us, right? That's number one. And again, it puts us in a much better situation, and we also have the loan that was completed, 5 million on top of the rights issue. So again, it means that we can execute on the plan.
And when you touch upon 2022, you talked about us doing some rather large investment into the product. Do you foresee the same investments during 2023?
I think the big step with the product we have taken, we do have a good backend. We have many of the functions we needed to increase the addressable market with, again, supply, quality, procurement, and production. Again, we will need additional functions. We will need to improve the product continuously, but the big step was taken in 2022.
And will this also affect our cost?
Yes, it will. So we will have a less cost in 2023 compared to 2022. So especially on the front end of the product side, we will not have to do as much as we did in 2022.
But to wrap this up, I just want to say, what are your 3 main takeaways for the investors that you want them to go away with remembering?
Okay, so I think number 1 for me, order intake took a step in the right direction, and also net sales followed that to some extent. We have the new product in place. We have now increased the addressable market with the product significantly. So that's number 2. And I think number 3, looking back into 2022 now, we have a strong US team in place. So we are able to capture opportunities in a good way in North America, meaning US, Canada, and maybe the northern part of South America as well. And we have a strong and good team here also in Europe to focus on the European market. So that's the 2 markets, and that's the 3 takeaways from this time.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Johanna, and goodbye.
Bye.